Hey, mathematicians. Over the last couple of lessons, you guys have been working on some statistics. You've learned how to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Now we're going to talk about how do we determine which of those is going to be the best, what's called a measure of center. So all of these ideas try to capture a data set and kind of summarize it into one piece of information. Sometimes the mean is a lot closer to representing our data set than the median. So we want to look at what does this mean and how do we know? So I've got up here number of pages read on 6 different days. So on Monday, I read 12 pages. Tuesday, I read 15 and so on. And man, that day it was so rainy. I just sat and read my book, 57 pages. Awesome. So the first thing I want to do before I decide to find any of this is I want to make my organized list. Some of you I noticed on one of our last learning opportunities, you skipped that step and then your median was off because you just picked the number that happened to be in the middle up here, not the number that's in the middle when we put it least to greatest. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a minute and I see that my numbers would be 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 57. So all I did was take this set of numbers, these 6 numbers, and put them in order from least to greatest. Now, honestly, this makes finding the range very easy. So I can say my range is 12 to 57, or I can subtract those numbers and I can say my range is 45 because it covers 45 numbers. My median is going to be the number in the middle. So I start at each end and I could cross them off. So these go away, these go away. Oh no, I have 15 and 16 that appear in the middle. Okay, there's an even number of data points, so there's no number that actually just sits in the middle. So when I have 2 numbers here, what I do is I find the mean or the average of those 2 numbers. So for this data set, my median is actually 15.5. It's the halfway point between 15 and 16. So now I've left mean for last because it's kind of extra work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all my numbers here. I notice that 12 and 18 is 30. 14 and 16 is also 30. So that means I have 60 plus 15 would be 75. And then I add my 57 to my 75. And I'm going to end up with 132. Now my mean is not 132 because now I have to divide it by my number of data points. I have 6 data points. So when I divide this, I will end up with my mean of 22. Now, we knew how to do that last week. So what's different about today's lesson? Today's activities, you're going to look at, okay, I have the mean, I have the median, I have the range. Which one most closely kind of captures my data points? So when I look at this, I notice that 12 to 18, 5 of my data points fall there. And then this one rainy day, I sat there and read 57 pages. It's called an outlier. These 5 data points are much closer together. So when I look at this mean of 22, that doesn't seem to capture the whole data set because this outlier pushes my mean up. It's actually higher than 5 of my data points. Whereas my median, that number in the middle, is actually 3 of them are less than it, 3 of them are greater, and it sits right kind of in the middle of that cluster. So throughout your activities today, you are going to be finding the mean, the median, and the range just like you have been. But then you're going to be asked to look at it and decide which of them is a better measure of center. Sometimes you're going to come up with them and your mean is going to be 51 and your median is going to be 50. That's really close. But other times you're going to come in situations where they're not so close together. And that's where you're going to use your mathematical brain to analyze which is a better representation. You're going to be looking at some different graphs today as well. And you'll be working through those. Make sure to read the labels. Next week, as a little preview, Next week, you are going to take a quiz on statistics. You will have a review activity early next week that'll be kind of like a study guide. And then middle to end of next week, you are going to have a quiz that's going to count as a summative assessment of what you know and understand about statistics. This is something that, as I'm determining your pass or incomplete for the fourth quarter, I'm going to need everyone to do their very best attempt on the quiz next week. So as a reminder, virtual office hours are Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30. If you want to pop in and ask any questions, I can have some data sets ready and we can do some examples together. But you will need to know how to do these things for the quiz next week. So make sure to ask your questions now if you have them. Email me, send me a Schoology message if you need anything. Many of you are doing such a great job with your learning. I'm really impressed with you. I hope you have a great day.